guess the big news is J.J. Watt's announcement yesterday. What was your reaction?
Yeah, I mean, happy for him. He seems like he's in a really good place. We had no idea that was coming, but what a tremendous player and person, and I mean, an all-time great in this league. So to see him play the way he played the other night and then hear that, I think it's just a special time for him, the organization, the entire NFL to kind of celebrate him these last 2 weeks.
What was the reaction of the team out on the field today? What was the reaction?
Yeah, I think just appreciation really for the time we've got to spend with him and watch, what he's about, how he works, just the relentless pursuit of excellence each and every day that he shows up at this building.
What did you do?
No, just kind of wait. I'm sure his phone's getting blown up, so waited until I saw him today and just talk with him about, our appreciation for him and excited to watch him play the next 2 weeks.
Is it a surprise, considering how well he's been playing, how hard he fought to get back last year, what he did earlier this year, that playing so well?
Yeah, I'm not sure, where his head was at with everything going into the season or whatnot, but he's definitely been playing at a really high level, and I've just been happy to see him healthy and being able to show what he can do, full speed all season.
It's obvious he can still get the job done on the field, but you just talk about what he contributes in the locker room, off the field, in the weight room, just leading by example, making the people around him better.
Yeah, he does it at an all-time level. There's no doubt. The young guys that have watched him and can kind of emulate what he's about on and off the field, the work ethic, the study habits, the attention to detail that he does in everything, was weight room or his diet or film study. I mean, everything is first class with him.
Most guys will retire at the end of the season, not making in-season announcement. But like you mentioned, now he can be celebrated. How important is that for football to be able to celebrate a guy like that first round Hall of Fame ring? That's good.
Yeah, with the impact he's had outside of the game too, I think it's really special. What he did in Houston was all time. The charitable stuff he did during the hurricane, I mean, as big as anybody's done in sports when it's talking about charitable endeavors. So on the field, off the field, I think it's a special time. He's an all-time great and one of the most respected players to ever come through this league.
What's your earliest memory of Jay? Do you have something that comes to mind back in Texas, or maybe when you met him here, they beat you in one day beforehand?
I mean, obviously, I was in Houston coaching at University of Houston whenever he was rocking that city. So it was like he was bigger than anything. He was like, I don't know, Mr. Incredible when you see him out and about. I mean, everybody knows who it is, and just an all-time, star and person. And I remember Case Keenum was with me at University of Houston, and he went there, and he's like, dude, this J.J. Watt guy, he's like, even in walkthrough, he knocks down the passes. He's like nonstop. So that was the first time I kind of heard of his intensity and the work ethic there. But to be able to work with him and see what he's about and the type of person he is, it's just been a true honor.
Any potential he gets added to the offensive game plan this week?
We'll have to wait and see. He's been politicking for a while, but we'll see how that goes. We're having a hard enough time just putting it in there ourselves, so we should probably stick to that. Yeah, it was just a fake, misdirection type deal.
Is there a little bit of a, wistfulness that you couldn't take more advantage of how well he was playing this year, just as a team, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no question. Last year when he went down, I thought that, him and Hop, Kyler all went down in the same game there when we were 7-0 and then lost to the Packers. They all got hurt and just definitely hurt, our cause moving forward. And then to watch him come back and play as well as he has and not be able to kind of circle the wagons around him, you wish that could have come together.
How's Colt doing as he's trying to come back?
He's doing well. It looks like he'll start this week. So cleared the concussion protocol and feels good.
What about Buda? Played with a fractured shoulder, who does that?
I don't know. I mean, when you see the hits that he continued to make post-injury, it's incredible. He just kept playing, and he acted like it was just kind of a bruise. And then we x-rayed, and he's got the fracture. So he's I've never seen anything like it on a football field when you're talking about tenacity and toughness and just doing whatever it takes to try and win a game.
Did that happen early in the game?
Not early. I think it was kind of beginning of the fourth quarter, end of the third quarter.
But that hit in overtime too. He goes a couple plays before the game, he goes right in.
Yeah, 250-pound back, right, meets him in the hole and lowers his shoulder and, gives it everything he's got. And he was definitely in pain, but, I can't say enough superlatives about, what he's about and what he means to this organization.
Recover and be ready for off-season?
He will, yeah. It's a non-surgical deal, just got to rest it.
How about Kelvin, who was questionable, obviously, and then not only played, but played every snap?
Yeah, that was incredible. I think 76, 77 plays, but, had a knee issue, ankle issue, could barely get down in the stance and battled all night and gave us a chance to win. So he's another guy, 11-year vet, going to be a free agent, could have cashed it in, but he wants to play and finish, what he started with his teammates. Says a lot about him as a man. About the same. We're going to get him to Friday and see how he feels, but he's wanting to play.
So what happened to Billy Price on Sunday?
He got nicked up a little bit, but he's feeling better, so I anticipate him playing.
If you talk about Colt being a coach one day, you think JJ would ever join the staff?
No, I would say Hollywood before coaching, if I had to guess. Him and The Rock would be a good tandem.
One thing, Jay.
What's
What
that?
superhero movie would that be?
I don't know. They'd had to pay him a lot of money, though, both those guys, but they can make one.
One thing JJ said as he was driving on Hard Knocks last week was, as you in the league a long time, you really get that appreciation for just how hard it is to win. How tough is that for you, for players, when you're just going through a season, nothing's going right, and you just can't win? That's got to be pretty tough.
Yeah, no doubt, and it's particularly a guy like that who's played at MVP level, really, at times. When he was in Houston, and for whatever reason, it never came together to get him, the ultimate prize, which is win a Super Bowl. And so he is a guy who gives himself one day off a year, so his entire life is dedicated to it, much like Brady does. And so he's seen, good teams not win, and he's seen other teams find a way to win. And it's just a challenge each and every year. It can go either way.
How hard do you think it is for guys like that who've been doing it for a long time to give up on the hope of winning a Super Bowl and walking away?
Yeah, I think a guy like that who he knows in his heart he's given it everything he's got. He's maximized who he is from walking on at Wisconsin to what he is now, and he's going to have whatever opportunities he really wants after. I think he knows he's put his heart and soul into it and everything into it, and so I think he's really at peace with that.
Coach, thank you.
Thank y'all.
We'll have Colt next, and then we'll have the open locker room, and then JJ in here.
Hey, Coach, what was your reaction when you got JJ's news that he's hanging it up?
I didn't know. I had breakfast with him this morning, right? And I'm slow to get the news. he's played a lot of football in his career, a lot of extremely good football, one of the best to ever do it. And, he's playing at a high level right now. And, I think when I had breakfast with him this morning, it was just like, well, I'm going to give you all I got these next 2 games. And, I appreciate all that you do. And he's a great leader. He's a great teammate. And I'm sure there's a lot of guys that could say the same thing.
So did it break the news to you, Director, that you didn't know coming into the building today?
Well, I sat down and we were just talking shop, and then I look at the TV and it's like J.J. Watt's retiring. And I look at him, I'm like, what is this? He's like, yeah. And then our conversation went from there. Like,
Where do you go from there?
yeah. I said, well, we got 2 more games, so don't fully go there yet,
After the way he played on Sundays, it was a little hard to believe that he won't walk away with him playing that well.
Yeah, I can't speak for him. Like, I'm sure he'll have all kinds of reasons. I can just tell you he's been a great teammate. He's playing at a high level. And, I've played against him and now playing on his same team, and I'd much rather be on his team than playing against him.
You tell me he was too young to retire?
I asked him how long it's been, and he said 12 years. And, that's a long time. But, I think there's probably a lot more that goes into it for him, and I'm sure he'll let you guys know. But, I think, my job at breakfast sitting with him was to make sure he knows we got 2 more games left.
How are you feeling?
I feel good. Yeah. Thank you for asking.
Did it give you pause knowing that you're a little bit older than him and this guy's retiring?
I remember playing against him when I was a young player. And, during the week, it was Jay Gruden. And during 7-on-7s and during individual periods, he had all the equipment interns raising broomsticks and, following you wherever you go for the whole week of practice. And by 10 minutes in, you're just like, this is ridiculous. But that was what JJ was doing early. It's just hands up, batting balls down. He was always finding the one-on-ones and getting home to the quarterback. And I hated the drills, but I understood once you played them that that's pretty realistic,
Did you always want to make sure that you played again this season, no matter if you could?
Yeah, of course. Listen, there's been a lot of conversations this week in the building, right, with just everyone involved. And, for me, I cleared protocol, and, opportunities to play don't grow on trees. I'm sort of laid into it in my career, and there's a lot of guys in the locker room that I love and respect and I care about, downstairs in the locker room and upstairs in the coaches' offices. There's a lot of people in this building who really care a bunch about this team and about finishing strong. And I was doing everything I can to get back out there and be a part of that, because that's what it's all about. This season hasn't gone the way we wanted to. We know we only got 2 more cracks at it. And I think for us as a team, for me as an older player, I'm thankful that I'm cleared and can go out there and, we're going for one goal. That's to win the game. And, we've had a lot of things go on this year that we can't control, and ball hasn't bounced our way sometimes, but we're going to fight, and I want to be a part of that.
JJ mentioned last week on Hard Knocks that as he got more into his career, he realized how hard it is to win in the NFL. When did that hit you in your career, how hard it is? And then what's the grind like when you get into one of these seasons where nothing goes right and there's just a lot of losing?
Yeah, I think it's certainly tough. I learned that early on when I was playing against the Steelers and the Ravens early in my career. It's hard to win in this league, for sure. And I've been on some very successful teams, and I've been on some teams who are in kind of the same position we're in. And I can tell you that nobody wants to be in the position that we're in. Nobody in the locker room does. None of the fans like it. It just stinks, right? And so for us, I think my message to the team and collectively from Kliff down is, we're professionals and we have a job to do, and it's not done yet. And we have an opportunity to go out there and circle the wagons and find a way to win a game. And that's the goal. That's it. nothing else but finish strong. And I believe in the guys down there, like 100%. I'll ride or die with them. We've had injuries. We've had bad stuff happen all year. But we get a chance to go play NFL football, and we're going to give it our best shot.
Given your circumstances of how the concussion happened, do you go into this thinking, okay, maybe I shouldn't have any run options for myself? Do you? I mean, I'm being, it's dangerous anytime you go out there, but do you try and avoid situations?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I don't ever want to get hit. That's what happened in the game. It just was one of those bang bang plays. A lot of different moving parts to that play, and it is what it is. It's a violent sport, and I got my bell rung. But we're playing a different team, a different opponent. They have different fronts, different looks. They present different challenges for us, and I think we just have to go out there and execute in critical situations, right? Like 3rd and shorts, 4th and downs, red zone, 3rd downs, like things that we just have been inconsistent on all year. If we can nail those things down, that's how you give yourself a chance to win and stay on the field. And one thing about playing the Falcons is they limit the other team's possessions, right? I'm watching these games as I'm breaking them down, and there's people are only having like 55 plays, 52 plays, 61 plays. Like normally you click on the tape and you're watching in the 70s, late high 60s. So for us, I think we're going to have to really understand that our possessions are probably going to be limited, and we have to make the most of them, and we just can't shoot ourselves in the foot.
Cool. When people in the media here talk about the Cardinals' offense this year, catchword has been regression. Kyler's regressed, the offense has regressed. Do you see that at all from your perspective, that there's been regression this year offensively?
I would say it's just lack of execution. I think when we turn on the tape, sometimes there's plays to be made, and we just haven't made them, or the ball hasn't bounced our way, or football is a beautiful sport. It takes 11 guys, right, doing the right thing, being in the right place. We've had a lot of moving parts up front. It's just been a little bit too inconsistent to have a successful offense, and hopefully these last 2 weeks we can work on some of those things and change them and give ourselves a chance.
How did you feel Trace did in his first start?
I thought Trace played his tail off. We had opportunities offensively, and we just made some mistakes like late in the game that cost it for us. I also thought the defense played exceptional. I had a unique perspective, right, standing on the sidelines, not suited out, and I've tried to tell as many defensive guys as I could, like you guys played great, man. You gave it all you have, and I don't think that that's a question for really anybody on our team this year. I don't ever have sensed that like we've just not played hard, right? We just, unfortunately we've made, especially on offense, some critical mistakes and critical moments that you can't do playing against Tom Brady. So, yeah.
Did you and your family get a lot of response from this segment on Hard Knocks? They went home with you?
Yeah, everyone was talking about my son's swing, and I said, well, I've honestly never taught him like how to hold his hands, or like he just grabs the bat and it's like, pitch it to me, and we go. He wants to do it every day, so he's already got a couple of scholarship offers to play quarterback. So I'm going to start making him bat left-handed, and we'll be a switch hitter, and we'll see what happens.
That's probably not far-fetched in today's recruiting.
Right.
Well, look at the way Andy throws the ball.
Andy Lee, I work with him all the time, No, he's actually, I played with Andy in San Francisco. He's been doing that for a long, long time. He's been playing for, 20 years? Yeah. And he gets giddy every time a fake's called. So it was a first down we converted, and let him do it some more,
Have you ever been around a team with this many injuries on the offensive line?
No. Mm-mm. It's been a rough year. I mean, you always get banged up, right? A couple weeks here, a couple weeks there, but these were all like season-ending injuries.
With a guy like DeAndre, how important is it? I know you haven't worked a lot with him, but you have had that opportunity. Just maybe the best guy catching contested balls. How much is that the confidence as the quarterback that you can throw that. How much you think that that might have had to do with Trace last week? But your take on that of, you know, you have to have confidence because more often than not, he's going to come down with it.
Yeah, exactly. You know, I've learned that the more I've played with Hop is just, you know, give him a chance. You know, I think for us on offense is just putting him in positions to create big plays, right? And if we like the matchup, let's take it. And we've moved him around a lot this year. I think that's helped. And, you know, we have to execute a lot, right? Whenever there's a lot of motions, shifts, we're moving, where he's playing inside, he's playing outside. Like, you know, it takes time, it takes reps, it takes, you know, time on task, right? He missed the first 6 games and came back and has played great, you know, from the moment he walked in. But there's a lot of detail that go into our passing game and spacing and you know, I don't think there's any rhyme or reason why, you know, he didn't get more touches last week, but certainly I hope that is changed this week, right? He's a pretty dynamic player and just got to give him a chance.
That left index finger looks like it's either nail polish or it's coming off. So
Yeah. I got to cover it up. If I catch it on something, it's coming off. Yeah, it's like I smacked myself with a hammer.
The chance to play and then the few apart between. How much does just the chance to play? How much does that keep you going after all the time you spend in the league?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I told, you know, we had some meetings yesterday. I just said, like, Kyler can't play, and you brought me here to play, and I want to finish the season strong. And, you know, that all hinged on getting cleared and going through the whole concussion protocol. And the doctors did a fantastic job. You know, I was fighting to play last week, but they weren't having it. And, you know, I just really was diligent in that whole process, and I'm fully cleared and excited about getting another opportunity this week.
How hard do you think it is for guys who have played 10-plus years to walk away not having won a championship? That's obviously all your goal, right? That's the goal every year for everyone. How hard do you think that is for guys who've been in the league for a long time?
Well, I think the goal when you start every year is to win a championship, right? So when you fall short, it's disappointing. And, you know, I think it can be tough. You know, the thing for me is, like, in the moment, I don't think about anything. I'm focused on, you know, day to day, being in the routine of getting prepared to play an NFL game, right? The Falcons are extremely well coached. Dean Pease has been coaching for forever, right? When they press you, you know, everyone's in the right spots, you know, whether it's fire zone or they're playing man or they're playing trap coverage behind. Like, my eyes have to be great this week, right? They're going to be flying around everywhere. You know, and they know our situation too, so that we'll probably get more than most teams. So, you know, for me, I can't focus on, you know, any of the outside stuff, right? I'm just trying to be laser focused on, you know, what we can do to execute against this team and this defense and move the ball, and, you know, how we can get guys open, how we can run the football. Just, you know, it's a lot this week, right? Atlanta they have around the same record as we do, but when you break down their defense, you know, they're extremely well coached and they're always in the right place.
Who were some of the guys who sort of framed kind of helped you build your perspective on football nowadays that you have now?
Early in my career, it was Jake Delhomme. He was kind of the starter in Cleveland, and then he got hurt, and that's when I started playing. He just a true pro, true professional, great leader, great quarterback. You know, played in the Super Bowl. You know, and then as I moved on, I just, you know, he was somebody that I could always talk to or remember how he handled certain situations that came up. Like we were in a similar situation like this in Cleveland, and I just remember his positivity and you know, there's always a level of frustration, right? You know, this is as hard as it gets in the NFL, and you know, you have to kind of be above all that and come to work and put your helmet on and practice hard and be an encourager, be a helper, like just try to get everything moving in the right direction. And you know, so in times like this, he's one of the guys that I think about and remember just how good of a pro he was.
Thanks, Cole.
Okay, thanks, guys.